Hey, welcome to Encore. I'm George, and I am by myself. so, I went and saw Kingsman, the Secret Service, and, going into it, I didn't really know what to really expect, because I really didn't, look into this movie at all. Like, I saw a tiny bit of the trailer, and that's about the extent of my knowledge of the film beforehand. But, saw what I saw, it was like, oh, this looks like it's gonna be a fun little action movie, no harm done. Um, Went and saw it, and wow, what a fun, enjoyable movie. It's the movie's based off a graphic novel called The Secret Service, which is written by the same guy who did Kick-Ass. So you can definitely tell kind of humor is going to be present in it, and wow, I just can't get over how fun and like really good this movie was. I didn't have any expectations going into it, so you know, watching it and it's like a 2 hour movie, but I mean it doesn't feel that long. You're sitting there and you're just really enjoying it. It's almost like it's as good as like a lot of the Marvel movies that have been coming out, because it kind of the action kind of teeters onto that area, but definitely is a slightly more gory-ish, not extraordinarily gory, like kind of like as gory as Kick-Ass had got. So like I mean you'll see blood squirts here and there, but nothing that's gonna make you rather sick or some shit like that. But okay, so uh, the plot of the movie. Oh, spoiler territory, of course. I mean, if you want to see this movie, go see it, enjoy it. But I mean, it's a spy movie, so you kind of get the gist of it, like about what the general plot is and who the evil guy is, like within the first 5-10 minutes of the movie. Like most, spy movies and shit like that, you know who's behind it. That's not really. It's the action bit and what leads to the grand conclusion, which the conclusion is it just works together and it's perfectly paced. So, anyways, we're going to spoiler territory now. So, if you want to see this movie, you don't want things spoiled for you, just stop watching the video, pause it, watch the movie, and then come back. Okay, so the movie opens up with oh fuck, I'm trying to think. Like, okay, so yeah, the movie opens up, and we're introduced to these 4 people who are infiltrating this desert place. I can't remember where it was. I want to say it's Afghanistan. Probably is. And there's these 4 guys, and they're part of the Secret Service called Kingsman. And one guy saves, during an interrogation, this one guy kind of saves everyone by dropping on top of a grenade that the person they're interrogating has. And, dies but saves everyone else. And the main person, who's, I think his name was Galaham, played by Colin Firth. Firth. You know who I'm talking about. He goes to the family, tells them, listen, so and so died, but he saved them all, and as a small kind of way to aid you, here's my number. If you need any help, call it. Say whatever the phrase was. So the kid, who was the son of the father that died, grows up, and he ends up in jail. He calls the number, and the Kingsmen get him out, bail him out, and they like enlist him, recruit him to go through this training to become a Kingsman, like some sort of a evaluational test. So a lot of the movie takes up that, while on the side you see Colin's character finding out who the evil villain is, and like the whole plot and stuff. The villain, who is Valentine, played by Samuel Jackson, in the most like bizarrest role I've ever seen him in. And I mean, that's saying quite a bit for Samuel Jackson. But I mean, when you think of like the roles he normally plays, you don't imagine him to play a role like this. I mean, you think of him playing like characters like Nick Fury, or God, I'm drawing a blank, but whoever he played in, Jules from Pulp Fiction and whatnot. Like those very like tough characters. They're very serious, but they have their moments here and there. But Valentine is like the complete opposite spectrum of what we're used to seeing Samuel Jackson play. Um, Valentine essentially is this billionaire character. He has a bit of a lisp going on. He's kind of like an evil Steve Jobs almost by the way the movie presents him, but you don't really see a lot of his career aspects going on. You mostly see the evil villain him, but he has a nice little character trait where he can't stand to see like blood and gore, so he kind of turns away when like other people are like killing and whatnot. It's a small little character tweak, but it's a very enjoyable one, and just the way Samuel Jackson plays him, like I'm assuming Valentine's supposed to be a slightly younger character, maybe like as young as I'd say Mark Zuckerberg or whoever the guy that created Facebook, like somewhere in that like young age, like maybe early 30s, late 20s, like somewhere around there. It seems like he's supposed to be, because he has a very modern hip look to him, like a very hip hop look. He has his hat on sideways. He doesn't wear suits or anything. He kind of wears sweaters that look very fancy, and various like other chains and like sneakers and stuff. Like a very oddball villain, but like it's very fitting to like the tone of the movie. The movie's very like playful in its comedy, but it knows when to make like a really good action sequence. So it's just a perfect fit. And just seeing Samuel Jackson play it, it's just like, wow, that is absolutely hilarious. That just gets like laughs out of people just to see Samuel Jackson play this character. A very good character, very fantastic performance by Samuel Jackson. So yeah, you see a lot of that going on, and he eventually finds out that Valentine has these cards, these SIM cards that he's basically handing out. I don't know if they're for free or like a very low price, because everyone's getting them because it allows you to have like free internet and free like streaming, free calls and whatnot for everyone forever. So it's like, the ultimate way to access, the media and whatnot. You don't have to pay for it, you don't need any providers, it's free because it's coming from, Mr. Billionaire's service, who has, the way he treats it, I'd say he's even richer than a billionaire, because he just kind of the concern of money is just like, whatever. And so I don't know, like a Googleinaire, however you pronounce it, like the most amount of like numbers in existence with a name. Googleplex, I don't know, megabucks. But so everyone's getting these, and you eventually find out that the SIM cards, Valentine's SIM cards, emit this kind of like I'm assuming they hinted at being like a white noise, but some sort of noise that like activates like the impulse to kill people. So Valentine's plan is, weed everyone out the weak and keep the richer people to try and control climate change, because, people are infecting it and it's too late to do anything about it. So that's his evil plan, and just it's such a ridiculous plan. Like, it works for the movie. Like, oh, I want to change, how climate change is and how global warming is affecting everyone. Let's kill people. That's gonna change things. So, it's a very like ridiculous concept for a villain. And it fits. Like, a lot of villains usually end up going with the kill everyone to, achieve my end goal or some shit like that. But it's absolutely funny, in such a satirical way. And then like the rest of the movie just follows suit. So, I mean, you see the son character. It's always terrible when like the name of one of the main characters escapes me, but it's oh god, that's terrible. Now I don't even know what the main character's name is. But yeah, I'll just call him son of character. Uh, he gets the final two when he fails it because certain circumstances, uh, and then it basically obviously where it's going, where it ends up he has to save the world because he does things in the way that the Kingsmen don't, because they're very old fashioned in their thinking, because of course they were established how long ago. And he looks at things in a more modern way, and he gets a little bit of inspiration to push through. And then you get this final sequence with the son character, the person who did succeed him, whose name I believe was Roxanne or something like that. And then the person whose code name is Merlin, I believe. And my God, just everything works. The action, the comedy, everything's timed perfectly. You don't feel it puts you in such a good state where you're invested in it, but you feel always at ease, because they're very playful and tongue-in-cheek. That in the end he's going to obviously succeed. But it just, everything works so perfectly. It's just a good movie. It's unfortunate though, because definitely this is not going to be seeing any awards or anything. It's definitely be making a lot of people's favorites of the year's list. I can definitely see that, because it's such a good movie. But I don't think any academies are going to properly represent this movie other movies that other action movies that deserve a bit more of praise. But yeah, so the end happens, and just the nice climax, the nice ending, the way they perfectly bookend the whole thing. And there's a little bit of a thing during the credits, which is a nice little callback to earlier scenes. The movie works so well, and the way it ends, you could definitely see studios going, we could make a sequel, but they're really, I don't know if there's any room for it, because even though it's based off this graphic novel, from what I've read, they've loosely taken the plot. They create new characters for the movie and whatnot. So, I mean, I don't know how close to the graphic novel it is, but if it's not extraordinarily close, there might be room to, do more with it. But I don't know. Just as it's a standalone movie, it works perfectly. But just like they did with Kick-Ass, they're probably gonna do a sequel somehow. Well, I mean, there was a graphic novel of Kick-Ass too. You get my gist. Random little tangent. Anything else I gotta make note of this movie? The action scenes, when killings happening on, and these really nice motions, they do such an interesting style to it that you wouldn't think would work. And the best way to describe it, I'm still trying to think of a good way to describe it, but it feels very stilted almost. It's such a weird way. When you see the action bits, and you'll know what I mean, it's just the way the movements flow. It has a bit of a jarring feel to it, because the action's supposed to be very fast paced, but it's trying to keep you within the go, but still keeping the action fast paced. So what they do is they have the camera close up, and things move around, and it's just a very good, well executed, beautifully shot action sequence. That are, I don't know if they're all done in one take. It certainly appears in that style, but just everything happens so fast, and it works. Think of all those really cool action sequence where they have the fighting choreography happens, but you always see it from a slight certain distance and whatnot. Here, practically, it literally just puts you right in the action, you're right there, within the moves and whatnot. It looks fantastic, and it works so well for action movies. I could definitely see this becoming a more popular thing, much like how The Matrix had the slow motion bullet time go by. This is definitely going to be a huge thing we're going to probably see a lot more of, because it works fantastically and it looks fantastic. So I think that's the new action thing that's gonna be happening. It's extraordinary close, but like I cannot describe how the hell it is, but like the way the actors move, it almost looks like there's frames missing or something like that, because it moves way too quickly. Like I'm baffled at how to explain it, but like it looks fantastic. That's all I can say. Oh, but it's great. This is a fun movie. This is definitely one of like better movies I've seen this year. Mind you, I don't think I've seen any other movies that came out this year. Yeah, I don't think I have. Wow. Gotta change that up. But Marvel is gonna have a hard time trying to compete with this one, because it does a lot of things right and very, very little wrong. You know, it blends action and comedy so well together. It's and even though it's a spy movie and you can't really, you know, categorize it with what Marvel movies are, which are strictly more action based, still it just, they're going to have a hard time competing with this movie, that's for sure. Because like the reveals work really well. Even though it follows a very standard way of revealing things, like I said, like within the first 20 minutes, you know who the main villain is. You know Valentine is going to be the main villain, just from like a scene done. But there are still a lot of things when they reveal them throughout the film that work really nice, and it's just it's a very refreshing feeling too to see such a good movie that isn't you know, bad, or like, you know, trying to overcomplicate something so simple. It's a fun movie to see, and I highly recommend people see this. Even if you don't think you'd be really into this, still freaking see it. It's incredibly enjoyable. It's just an overall fantastic movie, great movie, and I can't wait for this to come out on DVD just so I can like see a lot of like the behind the scenes and how they put those action scenes together, because that's the one thing I'm really interested in, is to see how they got that nice effect look to it, because it flows so nicely, and like especially like this one scene during the bridging the second and third act, basically, where it's just, you know, about 50 people with Colin Firth murdering 50 people in a church. It is fantastic. I know that seems like the weirdest thing to say, but like it works so well, and like I love the concept of like this secret service of like, you know, upright Englishmen. It's but, and like the way they do everything, just it's a good movie. You have to see this movie. That's the bottom line. You know, if the vague way I try to explain the story in the most convoluted way, if nothing from that intrigues you, if, you know, Samuel Jackson playing such a polar opposite character from what we're used to seeing him doesn't intrigue you, you know, Michael Caine's in it. He plays a fun role too. Well, not a really fun role, but he plays a good role too. Colin Firth is a fantastic performance in this. Just, and apparently Mark Hamill was in it. I found that out. I looked up on IMDb. I'm like, wait, Mark Hamill was in this? I didn't even fucking notice him. Jesus Christ! It's been that long since I've seen that guy act on screen. God damn it. So, yeah, fun movie, very tongue-in-cheek. Kingsman, go see it.